Jonah Lomu and Gerry Collins, true legends of the rugby world. Jonah Lomu transcended the sport to become rugby union's first global superstar. Gerry Collins, one of the toughest men and one of the hardest tacklers in rugby union history. But tragically, both men passed away within months of each other in 2015.
The pain's evident in the rugby world as it comes to terms with the death of former All Black Gerry Collins.
Jonah Lomu was rugby union's first global megastar.
Jonah Lomu, considered by many to be the greatest rugby player in history and one of the most talented sportsmen of all time, standing a towering 6'4" and weighing 120 kilos. He was not only a powerhouse, but he was amazingly fast, especially for such a massive man. With his pace and power, he became the first true heavyweight winger. Amazingly, he could run the 100 metres in 11 seconds, which at 120 kilos is phenomenal. Now, I can still vividly remember the 1995 World Cup semis. Lomu burst onto the scene, hitting the headlines of the world's media after a breakthrough performance against England. Lomu scored 4 tries in an amazing performance that brought him to the attention of the world, steamrolling through that England team. It's amazing to think that he was only 19 years old in this match. He was actually the youngest ever player in an All Blacks test match. Even Phil Vickery was no match for Lomu. This performance showcased Lomu's ability to bump off tackles and showed his agility and speed with his body swerves.
That must be a fabulous feeling to have in sport, to be effectively invincible.
I don't know about invincible.
Well, you certainly were in that match, weren't you? You were unstoppable.
So Jonah Lomu was born in Auckland in 1975. His parents were Tongan, and the family did move back to Tonga when Jonah was young. But they moved back to New Zealand, and upon returning to Auckland, Jonah was exposed to gang violence, which saw the deaths of his uncle and cousin. Jonah showed huge promise in athletics before turning to rugby. Played for Wellington, the Hurricanes, the Cardiff Blues, and a brief spell in France. He was also involved in the legendary match between Australia and New Zealand, known as the greatest game of rugby ever played.
One newspaper even headlined the game as a test match made in heaven.
Umaga! That's a gift-line pointer for New Zealand. Space here, Lomu, here they go again. Only Latham to beat. Gregan's across, he easily beat Latham, and another try coming up here for New Zealand. Alatini. 2 tries in 3 minutes, what a start to Bledisloe 2000 and the Tri-Nations. They're finding some great gaps, Alatini again, and a 3rd try to Cullen. It's raining tries here. Here's Gregan. Stephen Larkham. He has Mortland for a try. He's away. That's a great riposte from the Wallabies. John Eales for Williams. Big Jim Williams. Can he get there? Wallabies driving 1 metre short. Gregan now. Here it is. Mortland. He gets his 2nd. New Zealand have got it. 8 minutes to go. Australia now. Paper. Oh! There it is. Randall and Lomu. Can he do it? Larkham. Lomu has won the game surely for New Zealand. This has been a magnificent comeback by the All Blacks after all look lost. And it's that man, Jonah Lomu, the human juggernaut.
He finished his international career with 63 caps and 37 tries. He was appointed as a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit for his services to rugby in the 2007 Queen's Birthday Honours. What was even more amazing about Jonah Lomu is that he was competing throughout most of his career while suffering from a serious kidney disorder.
It's a disorder of the kidney in terms of that you leak protein and it doesn't retain protein, and your body's not getting it. And then it just all of a sudden your kidneys just decide to fail on you. So you're basically there's no goodness and the waste products in your body is not getting removed.
Yes.
Can't run at full speed and so forth. But you know, I use dialysis at night while I sleep, so it doesn't interfere with anything during the day.
Yes.
I knew what was wrong, I just didn't want it to be an excuse.
Jonah Lomu was a true superstar of rugby, but he was also known for his gentle nature and humility. He would often help his friends out by paying their bills. He was loved by his family and his army of fans across the world. Sadly, in November 2015, Jonah Lomu died aged just 40 from a heart attack related to his kidney disease. He had just returned to Auckland from Britain after a family holiday. His passing saw widespread tributes and services, including the pupils of his boyhood primary school performing a haka.
As I got to know the big fella, it's sort of like he was two different people, because such a humble guy and such a beast on the field, but off the paddock, you know, he was such a humble, respectful, generous, just a typical island boy, I guess. That's how they're brought up, you know, to be respectful. And Michael Jones told me there's an old Polynesian saying, it's better to walk into a room, sit at the back and be asked to go to the front than to go into the room, sit at the front and be told to get to the back. Always be at the back, because it's not cool to be out the front. And Jonah was one of those fellas.
You were many things to many people. You were a freak on the field and a gentle, caring giant off it. A loving husband, dad, son, and brother. But most of all, you were a lovely, lovely man.
Jerry Collins, 6'3" tall, 110 kilos, known as one of the hardest hitters and the toughest men in rugby union, respected and feared on the pitch for his brutal head-on tackles. And one of his most brutal tackles was against Colin Charvis, who was known as one of the hardest men in Welsh rugby. Charvis was actually knocked unconscious.
Charvis straight into Collins. How's that for a tackle? Take that.
That's all water under the bridge. You know, we all shake hands after a game. We all move on. And, you know, it was great watching him play, great playing against him.
Born in Apia, which is the capital of Samoa, Jerry moved to New Zealand and would grow up there. He played rugby as a flanker and number 8. He made his professional debut for Wellington in 1999 and his Wellington Hurricanes debut in 2001. He made a total of 74 appearances for the Hurricanes. His debut for the All Blacks was also in 2001, where he would play 48 test matches.
So you didn't find any issues when you stepped up to the top sort of international level? You never doubted your own, you know, strength or ability in that?
Oh, you always doubt yourself, you know. People are telling you, be telling you lies if they say they didn't. You know, because you stand in front of a guy who you've only been watching on TV. Like,
yeah.
Remember, you know, the great Michael Jones standing. I come on in substitution against Auckland. We were losing by 40 points, and he was standing next to me in the line. And you think to yourself all the time, you know, am I good enough to be here? Because look, people stand next to me.
As fearsome as he was on the pitch, I've heard many stories of his good nature when off the pitch. He was once spotted in Devon by Barnstaple coach Kevin Squire.
Jerry Collins sat in the same cafe, and Kevin, being Kevin, invited him down to the club here, which he accepted, and he came in just like one of the regulars with us.
Whilst we were in the clubhouse, Jerry was saying, look, I want a game tomorrow. Can you fix me up with a game? So I said, look, mate, I'd love to, but there's no way you can play for us because you're not registered. And, you know, on the level we're playing at, you've got to be registered. He said, oh, I know that. He said, I'm not bothered about that. What about the seconds and thirds? And we said, yeah, you by all means play for our second team, but the lads would never believe this.
We're all sat there in Newton Abbott's dressing room, and he goes on the phone and actually phones up Dan Carter and says, you wouldn't believe where I am today, bro. We sort of went up to him and said, oh, you know, what would you do in a warm-up? And he said, no different than you, bro. I injured my neck that day. I never got into the team photo, and that was the one thing I desperately wanted my photo taken with Jerry Collins, just to prove, because you know nobody was ever going to believe it, were they? And he lay down on the floor next to me and had his photo taken with me lying down there with my head being held till the ambulance came and picked me up.
He was selected to play for the Barbarians up at Twickenham.
If you're on sock watch, by the way, Barbarians, of course, wear their club socks. Collins sporting those of Barnstable, where he was helping out a couple of weeks ago.
That was just incredible for everyone connected with the club again, you know. Once in a lifetime thing, and he wore the socks with pride and put the club on the map, and, you know, he'll remain a friend of the club forever.
Kevin Squires went on to say that Jerry Collins in that particular match really adapted his game, didn't go in with his brutal tackles as normal, and obviously respected the opposition. But I mean, what a legendary moment for both Barnstable and for the opposition team, Newton Abbott, to have Jerry Collins. Well, that goes to show what a genuine, decent and humble man Jerry Collins was. Tragically, in 2015, Jerry and his partner, Alana, were killed in a car crash. The rugby world mourned a true legend. Emotional tributes poured in, including one from Jonah Lomu, who sadly would also pass away at the end of that year.
Man's being hailed a hero. Thousands farewell Jerry Collins today in his beloved hometown of Porirua.
And it was revealed for the first time how his instincts could have saved his baby's life.
Former teammate revealed the rugby hero used that unique ability to shelter his 2.5-month-old daughter in the car crash.
You show that reaction time and that love for your daughter, and you protect Ayla from the impact with your arms and your whole body over her. You took the impacts, but you made it's possible for her to have a chance. That's the man you are.
Those actions are no surprise amongst rugby greats, past and present, who turned out in droves to honour his memory.
And it's just typical Jerry. And when you talk about laying your body on the line, he did that.
A stirring send-off for a man feared on the field and revered off it.
Ruthless, fearless, brave, courageous, a leader.
So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate that. If you did make it this far, it would mean the world to me if you would hit the like button or share the video. Leave a comment as well. Please leave a comment. Let me know about any future videos you'd like me to do. Let me know how you're doing. And yeah, I'm grateful for all your support, and I look forward to catching up with you all on the next video. Thank you all.